Hello, I am the Jeff Sentence, or you can call me the commentator with no name, and welcome to Red Dead Redemption, a sprawling, huge, beautiful western epic on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and maybe one day it will come to PC too. And yep, this game is brought to us by the good people at Rockstar Games, and yep, those are the same people who have brought us the Grand Theft Auto series. And if you've played Grand Theft Auto, you should be very familiar with this game, because it follows the same formula, except it sets it in the West. Now, just a heads up about the footage here, I actually have altered it so you can see subtitles more clearly. Because, well, for a start, they're fairly small anyway, so on HD screen I actually find it hard to read what they actually say. So, yeah, I had to do a bit of enlarging. Not for the first time, I might add. But yeah, hopefully it won't be too distracting. And it was really something I had to do, because otherwise the text, yeah, it's about as legible as a doctor's note, written on a bouncy castle. I need to work on my similes. Yep, and I was almost about to say, thank you subtitles. Now, this was developed mainly by the people at North Star San Diego. No, Rockstar San Diego. Oh, I'm getting all flustered. But there was additional work done by the people at Rockstar North. And Rockstar North is the one set in Britain. Which is kind of odd. You know, the people who make the Grand Theft Auto games are mainly based in Britain. But when you think about it, it does actually make sense, because what you see in those games, and actually what you see here, is possibly not reality, but like a sort of heightened, stylized reality. Like the Grand Theft Auto games are clearly exaggerated gangster films. And this one, well, I would say it's a slightly exaggerated Western game, but, well. Now, this will take a bit of explaining. This game, what I like about it, is that it has the best of both worlds, both of serious and exploitative, if you will. It has its cake and eat it. Like, for example, all those tropes you see in Western movies, like playing poker, horse racing, lassoing horses, herding cattle, gunfights. You can do all these in this game. It's a game that sort of celebrates the old tropes of the Western. And on the other hand, it does have a serious story. And it does actually get quite dark later on. At actually quite a few points. So, it has those two elements going back and forth. And I think it does it really well, actually. Although I think what helps that is the fact that, well, the story's dark, and the humour can be a bit dark too. It's definitely that Rockstar trademark dark humour with with eccentric characters and psychopaths running around. But we'll see more of those guys later on. And yeah, that's something you'll definitely like about this game. I think it definitely feels like you live in a savage world here. The lawlessness of the Old West. Although, speaking of lawlessness, that's another theme of this game which I think is done well. The setting. To be exact, this is set in the early 1900s. I've forgotten the actual year. I think it might be 1911. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, it's set near the end of the Old West. John Marston, our protagonist here, is the last of a dying breed, the last of the savage bandits and robbers. And yeah, he's going out, and the West, the civilization, the government, if you will, is coming in, which. Yeah, it's really good. And I guess another benefit of setting this near the Old West is that you can actually have technology come in and thus make the gameplay a little more interesting as you get on. Like, for example, you do start off the game with revolvers and shotguns, but you can get a semi-automatic pistol near the end of the game. Which, yeah, again, it's that technology also helps the world be built up and helps the gameplay be a bit more interesting as we get on. And honestly, when I first picked up this game, I thought that might be something which might be a bit limiting, because in well, in other games, like Grand Theft Auto, you can have a variety of vehicles, like trucks, cars, bikes, planes, bicycles, and boats, of course. That's where I was going with that. But in the Western game here, it is honestly a bit more limiting, because you have horses and you have coaches. There's a car that appears, and that's pretty much it for your vehicles. And the same for the guns too. Like in other Grand Theft Auto games, sorry, but in those games you can get rocket launchers, flamethrowers, and grenades. And the weapons you get here are more slightly limited, like a revolvers, shotgun, rifles. In fact, really, I would advise you, if you were playing this game, you just stick with the rifle for most of the game. But it seems like I'm bashing it here, but I guess that's a good thing. The fact that you only get the technology from the Old West. It really feels like you're... Watch your step there, mate. That last step's a doozy. But yeah, even though it's limited in terms of vehicles and horses and gameplay, that's what I thought. The point is, I'm trying to eventually reach here, is that I enjoyed it nevertheless. It's like role playing. You step into the Old West, you play a gunslinger, and the fact that you only have revolvers and horses is, yeah, a good way of doing it. Very atmospheric, a very role-playing game. Oh, hello, Jake. I guess a bit of trivia. We don't see Jake again. And, yeah, we talk about tropes of the Old Western games. I guess Jake does fit into one as well. He's sort of like the tame drunk, or the womanizer. Okay, first up here... Pardon me. Horse riding. Yep, you get onto horses, and you ride them. Not really much to say. Yeah, the mechanics. You sort of steer with the analog stick, and you press the X button to giddy up, the giddy up button, and you hold R1 to stop the horse immediately. Which you can see here is actually something I didn't figure out, and I guess that's another issue too. It might be a minor one, but the tutorials you get only appear once on the screen, and they have very small text. So, I remember playing this game, and I actually had to check the FAQ to find out how to do the gunfights properly. We'll see them later on, but I couldn't do them. Now, there is a tutorial telling you how to do it, but like I said, the text is small, and I missed it like something I missed. But now, something you can do is just hold the X button when you're riding with someone, and you'll match their speed. And again, the X button, you can mash it to make your horse sprint, but there's like a blue stamina bar, and if you press it too much, the horse will just flip you off him. And it's gorgeous, isn't it? A huge western environment. It definitely feels like you're exploring this vast area. Of course, it has day and night cycles, different weather conditions. Yeah, it really feels like the Old West. And I gotta say, I wasn't a big fan of Western genres in general. But saying that, I think the Western genre is something that's like not used in games that much. This is probably the most famous Western game there is. And I would really struggle to think up any more of them, really. I guess, there's the Call of the Juarez games. So, actually, maybe there's a bit more Western games than I imagine. But anyway, you see a minimap in the corner here, which is slightly obstructed by my subtext effect. But yeah, just like in a Grand Theft Auto game, you follow that mark and you'll reach your destination. And of course, you go faster when you're on roads, the paths here, than you do going through the environment. So usually, it's better to stick on the roads, unless you're clever like me and you can find a shortcut here and there. Now, as for the horse riding, I do like it. It's like the sailing in Wind Waker. It gives you the impression you're on a huge area, but it does turn the game into a horse arse simulator. But anyway, as we'll see, there are other ways of getting around. Ah, here we are, Fort Mercer. Now, you probably don't know exactly what's going on, because it's... Mainly because I'm talking over it. But, yeah, John Marston used to be part of a gang. And now the government want to put that gang down and kill them all. And John Marston has been roped into doing that. So, yep, that's where the redemption part comes in too. He has to track down his own gang members and save his family. But we'll get more onto that later. Now, this is actually the first mission, but you can see there's very little to do. It's just essentially all cutscenes. But, that's good. It's a good introduction. Now, I don't see a doorbell. I'm here to do deliver pizza. Please let me in. No, I guess that approach wouldn't work either. Yeah, see, at this point, John's going to get a harsher reception than a door-to-door salesman. Yeah. See, it's at this point he must be thinking this was a bad idea, and perhaps it would have been better if I just slid a note under the door, and then ran off quickly. Dear Bill, please come quietly, or we're dead anyway. Well, although admittedly they do have the death sentence, obviously. So yeah, I've got to say I'm sort of siding with Bill here. He might as well fight. Yeah, let me save you from being shot at by by sheriffs, and let me save you for the gallows. Yeah, not really the best convincing argument, but I guess it does show John's struggle here. He's trying to be the good man about this, trying to be fair, for old time's sake. But yeah, that's shot down pretty quick, rather literally. You implore me? Do you have a word a day calendar?
Well, things are different now, John.
You know what, he can go implore himself. I'm in charge. Yeah, we'll see later on, this Bill guy's a pretty nasty piece of work. In fact, spoilers, when we eventually kill him, it's yeah, it's quite satisfying actually. There we go. He used the word implore correctly. That's a good Bill. John, maybe you should use the... Oh, never mind. Huh. Well, that was a short game, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Of course, that's not the ending. Now, fortunately, not everyone in the West is a searing pile of douchiness, as we see here when we get assistance from this Good Samaritan here. Although, frankly, Bonnie, we'll find this out later on, that yeah, we're not really sure why she was out here at Fort Mercer anyway. Ooh, it looks like they found dinner tonight. But anyway, that was part 1 of Red Dead Redemption. Join us in part 2, where we'll see a lot more gameplay for a start. Please join me then.